fight for Medicare for All. Senator Sanders introduced, as you all know, the Medicare for All bill a couple weeks ago, and healthcare justice movement is well on its way right now. And as she said, I entered into this movement on the heel of my daughter's death. Actually, this fine woman behind me was partly to blame. But I started to learn all the intricacies of what's happening in our healthcare system, and unfortunately, I learned them firsthand. You know, my daughter died because she was denied an adequate medical screening because she could not provide proof of insurance, an EMTALA violation. I share her story often to be her voice and also to empower others to continue on in this fight. 2 years ago, my daughter went to an ER, and she had every sign and risk factor for a blood clot, including a red, swollen leg. She had completed a 22-hour drive from Kansas City to Las Vegas. My daughter was half African American, on birth control, and had sickle cell trait. All of these were risk factors for a blood clot. And I had to do what no other parent had to do. Because they told my daughter to go get insurance and see a specialist, we're not a doctor's office, I had to hold my daughter as she died from a pulmonary embolism. Because of our for-profit driven healthcare system. So, you know, when we talk about Shalene's case, she's just not a tragedy. She was a victim, and she won't be the last, as long as our healthcare system is driven by profit. And that's really the crux of the problem. I have been a tireless advocate to stop the repeal of the ACA because we absolutely cannot afford to go backwards. But the fact is, the ACA didn't save Shalene, and it doesn't save around 30,000 people a year. It is letting them slip through the cracks. And let's be clear on what slipping through the cracks is. It's death. 30,000 people are still dying. And many more are undoubtedly dying because they're undercovered. Until we pass a comprehensive, improved, and expanded Medicare for All, people will continue to die. Do you guys think that's acceptable?
No!
Neither do I, because one needless death is one too many.
Yep.
Right.
Medicare for All ensures that everyone will have care, and the needless deaths will stop. It will actually let the doctors and nurses treat their patients without having to go through the insurance companies and administration. Ridiculous sums of money will no longer go to the corporate CEOs and for their bonuses and their salaries, their dividend payments, and the marketing and the endless unchecked administrative cost. Our citizens will no longer have to choose between shelter and food and the cost of life-saving medical treatments. In my city, the victims of the mass shooting that just took place a week ago will not have to be setting up GoFundMe accounts right now to cover their treatment. It is time for our representatives to do the right thing, do what they were elected to do, and represent the people.
Yeah!
Status quo is no longer acceptable. We are the political revolution, and we're not going to back down.
Woo!
Too many of them are beholden to their donors and special interests. And let's not forget the insurance companies. They are pulling out of the ACA and increasing their cost exponentially, all while they are reporting record profits. Aetna alone has had a stock price increase of 631% since the ACA was implemented. All this at the expense of human life. It is inhumane. And how many more of us have to die before our politicians will do the right thing? When we are in this fight together, the American people have been told that it's our fault. If we only work harder, if we only save more, if we somehow avoid the health complications, we would have adequate health care. I think they even said that if we stopped buying cell phones. But you see, this is a false narrative. For there to be true healthcare justice, we need racial, social, and economic justice.
Yeah!
Intersectional. We need policies that will address everyone's basic needs: a guaranteed livable wage, public education, affordable housing, minority protections, and most important, perhaps, health care. Because in this country, people deserve to have a roof over their head, food on the table, financial security, social justice, and healthcare justice each and every day. We cannot stop fighting. We need to keep working to make this the land of opportunity that we were always told it could be. We need to take out the career politicians. We don't have time to wait for them, for their donors and their special interests to do the right thing. We need bold action now. This is why I and many others like myself have chosen to run for office to restore justice and dignity for all the people of America. We need to support our revolution to help elect progressive candidates to replace the centrist, corporatist, establishment politicians. This is not negotiable. No more excuses. We demand true health care justice. We demand Medicare for all.